Alrighty, I'm out here shooting my first formalized drill of the day. I am warmed up, did some shooting with the Glock 43X and the Glock 42. Today is pretty much just a Glock day for handgun shooting, and I'm kind of tired of shooting the Bodyguard 2.0 as much as I have, so I'm going back to the Glock 42 because I generally find it to be a much more pleasant gun to shoot. I found it to be more reliable than the Bodyguard, and I find it to be a lot easier to perform well with because the gun has... It doesn't feel like it's been compromised to make it as small as possible. It's still a fairly small pistol, don't get me wrong, but it's not as small as like the LCP Max or the Bodyguard 2.0. But this is not a video about the discussion of those pistols. This is about the drill we're shooting. So we're shooting the Werner 5x5. You can find a link to Dan's article on this down in the description. But simply put, 5 rounds, 5 seconds, 5 yards, 5 times in a row on a 5-inch target. I'm shooting the advanced version from the holster with the Glock 42. I'm here in gym clothing, so I'm wearing my covert belt from Mastermind Tactics. I have 3 spare mags in a pocket, 1 appendix, and then of course 1 in the gun. I will not be going to slide lock just because of how I've loaded up the mags, so we're just going to ditch the mags when they're done and put new ones in there. Part of why I'm doing this is because I've got a planned video on the various extensions for the Glock 42 mags. The ones that I found to work I wanted to talk about because, you know, the easiest way to have a reliable pistol is to have good components on there, and the magazine extensions are certainly a part of that. So I'm going to be shooting the top circle on my target down range. We'll see how we do, starting on beep here. Okay, we're going to just ditch that magazine, reach into the pocket, grab a fresh one, reluctantly reholster. This is one of those things that if you're putting the gun away, there's no need to rush it. First round went a little high, second one went a little low. The next 3 were good and tight, 421. The Werner 5x5 is not about shooting this as fast as you can. It's about maintaining that accuracy standard and then doing it 5 times. So it's one of those things that I've seen some people try to rush it to be like, oh, you know, I got all my hits in, you know, 3.5 seconds, whatever it might be. You have 5 seconds. Use the damn 5 seconds, right? So, good hits though, and we're under par time for it. Second string of fire here. Okay. I keep trying to reholster before I switch mags. Reluctantly reholster. And I'm not tilting my head all the way down as much as I'm kind of like turtling up, bringing my head in and then looking down so that way my head's not totally bent over looking into the holster. I do recommend looking the gun into the holster because, again, if you don't need the gun, don't put it away, right? 396 for the second string of fire there. Good hits. Truthfully, the Glock 42 is like a super easy gun to shoot. This is kind of giving away some of the goose for a upcoming project. But I'm planning on doing a red dot cut on my Glock 42 and then buying a second one to be the iron-sighted gun for like pocket use and whatnot. I really like this gun quite a bit. Third string of fire here. We are not going to put the gun away until we get another magazine in there. Again, reluctantly reholster. Again, all good clean hits. 387. One thing I'll say for me is that with how wide I am, and I'm not just saying fat, but like physically from side to side, the Glock is such a small gun that actually getting to it is a little weird. I'm used to carrying bigger guns that have more to grab onto. So my draw stroke is a little bit slower with the Glock 42 than it is, let's say, a 48 or a 43X, but I can't complain. Sounds like we got an 18-wheeler coming up the hill here. String of fire number 4 coming up. Again, all good hits. We're going to ditch that magazine. New one goes in. And this one's going to be the biggest extension I've got here, which should lead to the best possible draw stroke on the pistol because I've got more real estate to hold on to. So, yep, big ass truck. Cool to see. That was shot in 372. Again, all good, clean hits. As I have a pile of magazines here on the ground next to me. And I'm going to let that truck pass a second here. So, thank you very much for watching. I can say that while it's driving past. And on to the last string of fire here. Okay, and reluctantly reholster. We'll head down here, take a look at the target. Again, all good hits for the most part. The sights I have on this pistol are generally pretty reliable and accurate. I wouldn't mind having tighter sights on this gun. The front sight's like a 140 width, so it's not super fine, but it's also not like fat like the XS sight for the Bodyguard 2.0. This is an easy gun to shoot. This is an easy drill to shoot this gun with, so can't complain. Time for that last string of fire was 374, so I think that was my fastest one. But yeah, the Werner 5x5, if you haven't shot this drill, I'd recommend it. I would also recommend that you shoot it from low ready. That's how Claude Werner invented the drill and came up with it to be shot. But if you feel like you're kind of having too easy of a time shooting it from low ready, if you're able to and you feel comfortable doing so, I would recommend practicing it from the holster. The big thing, and I know I said it every time I reholstered, take your time reholstering. The phrase I use is reholster reluctantly. There is no reason to rush that gun back into the holster. If you don't need the gun, you can take your time putting it away. So, thank you for watching. Again, Werner 5x5, Glock 42 from concealment.